Good morning and welcome back into another weekly segment of Talks with RJ. Today we have a very special guest who really needs no introduction, but I'm going to introduce her anyway. She's been in education and well for a long time. And Dr. Lacey, how are you doing this morning?
Good morning. Doing well, RJ.
Thanks for being on the show. And before we get started, so we all have heard stories about how people pursue different callings, different dreams, different aspirations. In your case, what made you want to pursue education?
That's a great question and one that I have responded to many times. When I was a young child, when I was 5 years old, RJ, I knew that I wanted to be a teacher. And I had teachers in my family, and I also had really good teachers growing up. So this is a funny story now, but when I was 5, my mom, for Christmas, she would always buy my Christmas gifts at the teacher supply store. Because in our house, I had my makeshift classroom, I had my library, I taught school. Back then, I had a chalkboard.
Oh, so you knew it was your calling.
I knew it was my calling, and it just started with a vision at a very young age.
Talking about it at a very young age, well, at least you pursued the vision, and from there, you have served as a teacher, obviously, an assistant principal, many other titles. Can you talk about how that prepared you for how you're in your role now as superintendent?
Yes, so I was fortunate to be hired as a teacher in Childersburg. My first teaching assignment back in 1984, and you weren't even born then, RJ.
Right.
But that was the greatest honor, and I knew nothing about Childersburg or Talladega County, and I think the foundation for my career started as a classroom teacher. You learn so much in that role, and you manage a lot of different situations. You get to build lots of good relationships. And I think most definitely that has prepared me throughout my career, and certainly now as the superintendent.
You talk about relationships. It's just like football, different sports, and different things you do in different areas. In today's world, relationships are the most important thing. I think is very valuable and important because when everything else fails, those relationships are always something you can lean back and fall on. And I know with you in education, you have to have relationships with the students and teachers as well because it's no secret, but it's a new era. So those relationships are very important. But I want to hit on something. You were very big on STEM.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't know what it is, but I'll tell them what it is. It's science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. Can you talk about how that has helped the Talladega County schools in general and what made you want to start the STEM thing? Because I know it's very big. I know Nick's Kids Foundation, they're big on STEM as well. So what made you want to start that?
Well, I think, RJ, the decisions that we make as school leaders are all about the students. And, you know, currently in our economy, there's so many jobs that are STEM related. You know, just from the basic types of jobs, everyone needs to have competencies in the technological fields.
Right.
So when you were a student at Winterboro, we did a lot of what we call project-based learning.
Right.
And project-based learning is still alive and well.
Okay.
And the STEM standards really coordinate well with project-based learning because students are having to research, they're having to work collaboratively, they're having to make public presentations, and most importantly, students have to be technologically competent in order to be able to survive in the economy. So throughout our nation and our state, there are many jobs STEM-related that are currently open. Entry-level jobs are high-skilled, but they're also high-wage. So we want to prepare students in Talladega County for that next step after high school. And you know, whether they want to go in a STEM-related field or not, it still offers students the opportunity to work in teams and groups and collaborate and research and present, and those are really life skills now for any job. But most importantly, we're really preparing students for the next step and to be technologically competent.
I'm very glad that I was able to be a part of a PBL-based system because coming out of high school, when you go to college, you have to work in different groups. You know, you have to be able to talk to people,
Yes.
and you have to know how to interact. So we're very fortunate that you were able to be very big on PBL. But I want to shift for a moment. So I want to talk about some academic and athletic things as well. But man, Winterboro, and not even Winterboro, but counties and this school system has been very successful. You look at B.B. Comer, went to the state championship. You look at Winterboro, just won state championship in track back to back. Can you talk about the success you have seen with your coaches and your players and how that has just been so good for the county in general?
Great question. And I think, RJ, it really has the success that has come with those athletic endeavors has been because of our coaches, our teachers. It takes a lot of dedication to pour yourself into a sport, and certainly the time is intensive. It is labor intensive, and coaches really are dedicated and committed to doing great things for kids. And that's made the difference. As a school board, the Board of Education, we have committed resources to improve facilities, to make sure that our students have what they need for those particular sports. But most definitely, I think it's coaches, the time that they're spending, the investment that they're making in our students, is paying great dividends.
And a lot of people don't realize coaches spend a lot of time away from their families and kids. And I like to give a shout out to my coaches. Coach Beckett coached me and Coach Roderick Smith coached me, and I seen day to day of how much time and how much energy they put in. Sometimes they take us on camps in different times.
Yeah.
But in my research, you know, I looked up the Talladega County graduation rate, and I was reading this year, and I was like, it said 93%. Can you talk about that and how that has been important? And also, not with that, but the amount of scholarships that go out across the board at Talladega Counties. I mean, that's so amazing.
Yes, so academics, of course, a top priority in our district. We have 16 schools, RJ, so academic preparation starts in pre-K. And if you've never visited pre-K before, you need to. 4-year-olds are doing some amazing things in pre-K. So that preparation early on in pre-K, our elementary programs, really prepare students for that next level in middle and high school. Our graduation rate is high, and it's over 90% for all 6 of our high schools. We're extremely proud of that. When I first became superintendent in 2008, our graduation rate was nowhere near that. So we have worked really hard to make sure that students are having the skills needed to excel. And for elementary students, students must be proficient in reading at grade 3 and mathematics at grade 5. So all of that is contributing to students being better prepared at the secondary level, thus increasing our graduation rate. So lots of interesting work being designed in our schools. Again, the basis of that are great teachers. They're in the weeds every day with our students, and that's why we're seeing great success academically.
Again, we're talking with Dr. Lacey here on another segment of Talks with RJ. It is 7:09 a.m. So, Dr. Lacey, you made a great point. 16 county schools, right?
Yes.
So, how is your time management as
Yeah.
a superintendent? Because you have to be able to oversee everything. How do you manage all that?
Absolutely. Well, it is a big responsibility, but I also have an amazing team at our central office, and they are oftentimes everyday boots on the ground for me.
That's right.
And, you know, I'm everywhere during the course of a day. Of course, my day started early here. We have a board meeting today at 11. So, you know, my job takes me to lots of places, not only within the district, but also out of the district. So the central office team is really key to supporting our schools. Our great leadership at every school is key as well. But the job of our central office team is to support our schools. So they make the difference, and certainly I'm honored to be able to work closely with them every single day.
So, you know how police officers have to be on call, doctors have to be on call. So in your case, you have to be on call 24/7.
Yes.
So whenever you have downtime, don't know if you have any at all, but what do you like to do in your spare time? Because I can imagine you a superintendent, so you're always trying to figure out what different ways you can help the county schools, you can help people in the community be successful. So what do you like to do in your downtime when you're not on call?
Yeah. A good question again. So I really enjoy being at home, because home is not where I am a lot during the course of the week. But I have hobbies. I love my yard. I love working in my yard. I love growing flowers. And I'm a pretty good cook. I only practice those skills on the weekend. But those are the things that I enjoy, my family, my friends, and it's important to have those opportunities too, because work can consume you, and you do have to step away from time to time and enjoy the things that make you happy.
And you've seen the growth of people like Greg Funderburg come through, people like Gerald Wallace come through, and like different people in Talladega County Schools. Can you talk about the success and the impact that you've had on them, and you like to see those people go on and do successful things?
As an educator, I think that's one of the greatest rewards, is working with young people. And you mentioned Gerald, you mentioned Greg Funderburg. I knew those young men from the time they were 10 years old when they came to Childersburg Middle School. And to be able to see them grow and develop and become successful in their field is so rewarding, because I can say I knew them way back when.
Right.
And I think just being able to work with young people and to influence them in positive ways is a calling, and it's certainly a great reward as an educator. So to me, there's nothing better than being an educator in this career, and that's one of the primary reasons.
And we're going to wrap the interview up soon, but I just want to ask two more questions just to follow things up. So what would you say to teachers who are looking to get an education? Maybe they're young, they don't know what to expect, and how can you encourage or give them some inspiring words? Because I believe we have some future educators out there, but they're just scared to take that next step, and sometimes they need a push. They need something that's going to help them get on out there.
I think I would advise young people that are interested in education, or maybe even individuals that are interested in a second career. It is so invigorating to work with young people. And it's challenging, it's difficult, but at the same time, the benefits outweigh the difficulties and the challenges many times. And to be able to work closely and impact a student's life, give them an opportunity through school that they may not have otherwise, is something that just makes you feel good at the end of the day. So I hope there are many individuals that are wanting to do this type of work. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of planning, but I can assure you the benefits are extraordinarily positive, and the outcomes are something that are lifetime memories.
And before we get ready to go, I saw something a few weeks ago. You got a contract extension, but
I did.
We don't want you to go anywhere. So you can't, although your contract ends on July 26th, we want you to stay on forever and forever.
Well, thank you for that shout out. What you need to know is I will be beginning my 41st year as an educator in Talladega County Schools. And I'm so proud to say that I got my start right here in Talladega County Schools. And to be able to serve the people and the students and the families for this length of time is a great honor. And I'm thankful to the board for their support, their encouragement, and certainly extending my contract for an additional year. And I look forward to a new school year. We have lots of momentum, lots of things planned, and I feel like I'm just starting year one again with the enthusiasm and excitement that brings to an educator's life, and I'm just thrilled to still be around.
Well, Dr. Lacey, we thank you for your time today on Talks with RJ, and we thank you for joining us and spending time with us. And stay tuned for more Daybreak, and we also have more guests soon with Talks with RJ. Stay tuned for more.